Folks, I'm not supposed to be here today. All right. Anybody that's tuned in, first of all, I want to say big ups to anybody that tuned in that listened to episodes 1 through 3 of Broke With You. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments. Raheem, Michelle, thanks for being fools. People like to watch you look foolish. I appreciate I appreciate you gave me the opportunity to do so. Folks, what we have here on our hands is we have treason at the highest level. I have never seen anything like this. Okay, this was supposed to be a 3-part series, episodes 1 through 3. There's some inside baseball here. There's some things that Dark Horse did not tell you. There's some things that were going on behind the scenes that I left out because there was an olive branch extended. And I reached out to grab it. Dark Horse, why'd you do that? Why didn't you dig in your heels? You had a point. You had them on the ropes. She, Michelle, had something of mine. A hostage in this war. Something I hold very dear and near to my heart. I get a phone call. I won't say from who, but I get the phone call. This is a guy of importance. To hear them say it. This is a guy that holds some weight. Won't say who, but the guy calls me up in defense of Michelle. He says, Jay, we're getting to the point to where it's getting to be a little ridiculous. Okay? When does this end? Again, I say we're on 2 of 3, my man. It ends on episode 3. Now, what you guys don't know is that prior to even episode 1, I called my man Fuad. Fuad's going to be somewhere up here on the screen. I called my man Fuad. I said, Fuad, he works with this woman, Phelps. I said, Fuad, listen, the optics of that video were horrendous. We have a tiny channel. Put me on the phone with your boss. You see, me and Fuad had a podcast together. This is the link. Okay, I met Fuad. He came down from the UK to Brooklyn. I might have met him one time prior, but he came down from the UK to Brooklyn like a lost pup. Fuad's a young kid. He's 21 years old. He was like a lost pup. And Dark Horse, he loves the underdog. I say, come here, Fuad. You see, I say, right here, Fuad. Get in there. And it was the start of a beautiful relationship and a friendship, and we went on to create this podcast, and I loved it. It was the thing most near and dear to my heart. So this olive branch is extended. They say it's a ceasefire. Dark Horse says, okay, I cease. I cease. I don't know anything about war, but here's what I do know. When you set up a plan, a truce, a peace treaty, you don't then go kill the most important hostage you have. She took my Fuad from me. My sweet, innocent Fuad, she said, no more podcast. Podcast is done. They said, Jay, hold off, because listen, believe it or not, folks, my little 130 subscribers, by the way, it ticked up to like 275 real fucking quick. My little channel has generated some interest. You'd be surprised. I didn't know there was a market for this. You'd be surprised how many people want to see you get shit on. Michelle and Raheem. I'm not coming at Raheem because Raheem, we already know. We've already shamed him. When you see Raheem, if there's a cop around you, ask the cop to arrest him. I don't know if he can. I don't know if it's legal, but he should be thrown in jail. We don't like him as a society. We said it. The boxing world does not like him as a society. That's done. I was done at the end of episode 3 of 3. I was done with this woman. With this scorpion woman. I was done with her. She takes the only thing from me that was going to get me to stop. You see, before episode 1, I said, have her call me. She says no, because of course, this is Michelle Phelps before I slice and dice them. I'm not talking to that crumb. Fuck him. Okay. Episode 2. That was a good one. It was a doozy. Episode 2 drops. Now I get the phone call. Again. Bend the knee. Give me a call. No. Okay. Episode 3. Now we agree, we're not going to do it no more. And she takes the kid from me. Folks, I love that podcast. And I love my little podcast host, if I'm being quite frank. We used to call it a fwadcast because we're clever. We used to say, hey, when are we doing the fwadcast? That's ruined now. You ruined that for me, Michelle. That's a perfectly good pun. You're happy? Well, here's what we're going to do. We ain't giving up on Fwad. We're not giving up on Fwad. If you're somebody that has any kind of pull in the boxing world, or just a guy of a small, or just somebody on my side, I don't know the legalities of this. I know you can't start a hate campaign. I know I can't say, go beat Fwad up. How about a love campaign? Send him a message at Fwadgram on Instagram. Tell him, Fwad, go back to Dark Horse. Tell him they're finished. They're done over there if you've got any inside information. Let them know, listen, you're on the wrong side of history, my man. Head on that way. And to prove that point, to drive that point home, we're going to call up some smaller outlets. I could call up 50 to 100 people. I'm only going to call up 2 or 3 to prove a point. You know I can call up a lot more. You know that there is more. We can do this show every week. My inbox, my DM is filled. They raised me up as their champion. People wanted this to happen. Michelle, I want my Fwad back. I want him back, and I want him back now. Let's take some phone calls.
This just proves how bored you are. How deep you're looking into this. You're a flat earther, aren't you? You look into flat earth and shit.
I've dabbled. What of it?
Oh my god. See this?
Flips me the bird, this kid. After all I've done for this kid.
Look,
there's only one Ricky Hatton.
That's not the point. You waste my listen. Your heavyweight just got slapped up by Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury's our heavyweight. What are you doing? Michael Jordan was my hero, and I'm a big football fan. Oh, no. I don't know what the fuck football's got to do.
What's that got to do with the heart? Will you put you to every American I've spoken?
I used to be afraid of the ginger coochie. You know what I'm saying? I've always been fearful of it. I don't know.